Married at First Sight, season 13, episode 12. I told y'all Gill was a whole dusty. Gill is about to upgrade his life with Merla's money. This Dusty lives in a one-room Roachmobile apartment that he shares with his dog. And he goes to look for an apartment. And guess what he did, girl? He went to look for the luxury apartment, not a regular apartment. He went to look for luxury apartment. And I'm like, you live in a one-room stinking studio apartment with the roaches. Roll it on, roll it on, roll it on. Look at that, roll it on, look at that. And you're going to move into a bigger apartment, and you didn't just go look for a regular apartment. The Dusty went to look for a luxury apartment. How you going to afford it, Gill? How you going to afford a luxury apartment when you live in a one-room stinking studio apartment? I just want to know. I just want to know. I know a couple of y'all emailing me about Merla. You think Merla is typical? I don't think so yet. Not yet. I'm going to do a video on it. But I just want to know, how is Gill going to afford his half, let's say half, of this luxury apartment? I just want to know. Come on. Y'all defenders of the Dusty, tell me in the comments how he's going to afford it. I just want to know. Happy Friday, honey. It's Friday. All right. I live for the weekends. Thank you for your love and support on my video. Thank you so much for those of you who is showing me love for my birthday weekend. I am going to try, keyword try, to come live tonight. You guys have been asking me to come back for Freaky Friday and talk about dangers. Oh my God, Janice, all you do is talk about Married at First Sight, Married at First Sight. I'm going to try to come on tonight. I'm trying. I'll try to bring Freaky Friday back. Thank you for your love and support with my books. 23 types of guys you might meet. Listen, let me tell you, Gill, ooh, child, he's all in here. He is all in this, but my computer is lagging. Why? I deleted stuff. 23 types of guys you might meet. The Naked Wife is available. We already know Bao is a naked wife. While I cannot say yet, Merla is typical, Bao is definitely typical. But I'll come back and talk about it. So I have the notes right here. So they were talking about apartments, right? Gill and Merla. And I got my notes here. Let me pull up what the Dusty said. Okay, there it is. So Gill and Merla, and he says to her, so my lease is up in about 3 weeks. Merla says, He says, and I don't think I'm going to renew it. Now, it's been about 9 years since I live in an apartment building. But when I live in apartment buildings, y'all could help me out in the community comment section. Maybe it's changed. You had to let your landlord know 3 months before your lease was up if you were going to renew your lease, because if not, they need to prep, they need to start advertising, and they might need to start showing the apartments so they don't miss any money. Was that right? Did that change? I think Gill came on the show for free housing. He came on the show for free housing, because how is your lease up in 3 weeks and you didn't let the landlord know if you're going to renew it or you're not going to renew it yet? Who else did that? Drop it in the comment section. Who else came on Married at First Sight for free housing? He says, I don't think I'm going to renew it. Merla says, no, I think you should renew it. Ha, ha, ha. He says, okay, I'll renew it. It's cool. So then he says, so apartment shopping. We need to do that before decision day. So he said, so I went and got 2 prizes for the apartments here. This is, somebody sent me these pictures of the luxury apartments in Houston. Okay. So then he says, listen to what he said. I went to look at two prices for apartments here. I don't know where I put the floor plans. In Merle's voiceover, she said, having a husband that I can share space with is something I've always wanted for myself. We're talking about future, building a home, where we're going to live. We're talking about everything as this is the marriage we want for life. And she says, truly a dream come true and a whole much more. You lie. Gill says one apartment was 11,000 square feet. Merle said that's big. And then he says the other one was 1,000 square feet. He then says the smaller one of the two is just higher. Merle says, like how high? He says, I don't know. Merle looked at him like, girl, you want to spend my money. So let me get this straight. You went to look at apartments. The smaller one is higher, but you don't know how much higher it is. Sound like a Dusty to me. Because how you don't know how much? How you making plans like you have this endless amount of money? Because even my husband gave me a max of the house we could look for, which was $300,000. This was 10 years ago, okay? 10 years ago, he said $300,000 is our max, even though based on his income and his credit, my husband could have afforded a $500,000 house. He said, don't want to do that. The max was $300,000. 10 years ago, my husband told me that. So even my husband, good money, good income, good credit, had a max. And this Dusty talking about he don't know how much higher the other apartment is. Okay? Let's read on. Marla looks at him like, you dusty crusty, how you gonna afford this apartment? Gill says, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of high-rise and mid-rise apartment. I don't like building elevators, parking garage, loop-de-loops. I hate that, and I definitely don't care about no concierge. I thought I uploaded it. That's extremely bougie. So you know what that means, Marla? You will not be staying in none of those nice hotels when you try. You will be staying in the motels, okay? Now, I do agree with their high rise. I don't like high rise, okay? And then he says, and I definitely don't care about no doormat. I can open my own door. So tell me why the hell you're looking in a luxury apartment. Because that's what they do at the luxury apartments, right? You want a regular apartment, you go get your regular apartment. Marla looking at him like, how you gonna forge your half? And then he says, what are your wants in an apartment? She says, I like new apartments. Gill says, you like everything new. Gill says, you remind me of a person that likes the newest and greatest. Then she says, I want a new phone. And I'm going to come back and talk about that conversation over there. Now, someone sent me these pictures. We have a luxury apartments here in Newark, so I'm going to go based on the price here. A studio apartment here in luxury apartment downtown Newark, one room with the kitchen in it, is $2,250, $2,250, $1,000, okay? $2,000. So I'm going to make the assumption, I don't know, y'all could help me out. Ryan, how much is a 2-bedroom luxury apartment where y'all staying? Tell me the price. So I'm going to go with the 2-bedroom luxury apartment. I'm going to go even it out at $3,000 a month, okay? I don't know if what's included. When I lived in an apartment, heat and hot water was included, which is why I stayed in hot water in apartments. I would never live in a private house because a private house, you have to pay your own everything. And hello, budget queen here. You don't have to worry about heat because heat is expensive. expensive, okay? And so I don't know what's included in these luxury apartment. I don't know if heat's included. I don't know if lights included. I don't know what's included. Now in New Jersey, I work in social service, so we have something that says your living expenses should not be more than 30% of your income, okay? So let's assume that this 2-bedroom apartment, luxury apartment, is approximately $3,000 a month. And let's just go ahead and throw everything in there, since we don't know if heat's included, if lights included. I don't think lights included. You know, living expenses, your rent, heat, hot water, and PSE&G we have here, okay? That's your living expense. You don't need cable. What else you don't need? And you don't need internet. Living expense is what you need to live, as in a roof over your head, heat to heat your house, and water. So let's say this luxury apartment is $3,000, everything included. Don't you think I'm being graceful this morning? That's PSE&G. I don't know what y'all call it down there. That's lights, water, heat, all of that is $3,000 a month. Just throw everything in there, since we don't know. So that's $1,500 each they have to pay. Let's say they say they're going to do 50-50. First of all, Gill make $36,000 a year with overtime, right? So $36,000 a year. Let's say it's calculated, okay? Let's say it's $3,000 a month, so they need to pay $1,500 a month each. So that's $1,500 times 12 times 12. That's $18,000 a month he's got to pay for his half of the living expenses. Come on, somebody. Now, he makes $36,000 a year minus $18,000, left $18,000. Now, do they pay taxes? Does firefighter pay taxes? I think firefighters, police officers, teachers, and military people should not pay taxes, because you know the pay is not very good, okay? And so I think those people should not pay taxes. I don't know if they pay taxes. I'm assuming they pay taxes. So $36,000 before taxes. I don't know how much is the tax down there, okay? Minus the $18,000 a year for your part, plus you got to send the money home for your mama, plus y'all got to save for the house. Tell me how Gill is going to afford half of a luxury apartment. That's not included food yet. I didn't add food. This is just living expenses, okay? So if his income is $36,000, and up here in New Jersey, your living expenses, they said try to make your living expenses not exceed times 0.30. So that means his living at his income, at Gill's income, his living expenses should not go over $10,800. $10,800 divide by 12. That means his rent should not be more than $900 a month. So you tell me, how is he going to afford half of a luxury apartment? You know how he's going to afford it? Living off of Merla. Living off of Merla. Now, we don't know what's going to happen on decision day, right? I know there's rumors. We don't know. Let's just say we don't know what's going to happen on decision day. If the couples say yes on decision day, they get a sign-in bonus. And if they stay married up to 6 months, they get their housing for free. We were told from the people that's been on the show that they were getting anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month to stay married for 6 months. This is why, if you pay attention, the couples that say yes undecision day, by the time the reunion comes around 6 months later, they are no longer together because they were staying together to get the $10,000 a month for 6 months for free. So maybe Gill doesn't care how much more the apartment is, because if they're going to stay together for 6 months, it doesn't matter, because Married at First Sight is going to pay their rent. See, Marla is asking how much more because she don't have ghetto wilderness mentality. She needs to calculate, because let's remember, Marla owns her own home. Y'all talking about Marla's apartment? Marla live in a gated community. Y'all just mad and you don't like her, and so you're trying to find fault with her with every little thing. But she lives in a gated community. I don't live in a gated community. I ever asked my husband, we pass a gated community, and I said, you want to live over there? He was like, oh no. Because when I met my husband, it wasn't a gated community he lived in, but it was like a gated community that you have to pay the maintenance fee a month. And I'm like, that is the most stupidest thing ever. So maybe he don't know how much more it is, because it doesn't matter, because Married at First Sight is going to pay if they stay together for 6 months. Because there's no way you can afford this, Gill. There's no way he can afford it. He can't afford half. And I do not think Marla is the type of woman that will take care of a man. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe she is, but so far, I don't see it. I don't see it. And so the thing is, ghetto mentality, hood mentality, wilderness mentality, you don't think about the future. See, Marla is thinking about the future. This is why she asks, how much high? Because she is looking a year. Can we afford that for a year? Can I pay my mortgage at my house? Though now Marla is making over $100,000, over $200,000. She was making 120 and 200 with extra stuff that she does, and then she's making over 200,000 since she's now, because she made partner with the company she works from, so she's making over $200,000 a year. So yeah, she can do it, but I just don't see Marla taking care of a man. So y'all, that's going hard for the Dusty. I need explanation. How is he going to afford his half? Let's say they stay together for 6 months, right? How they going to afford it afterwards? Though, if you're smart, which Marla is very smart with her money, you can save that money that you get for the 6 months for the last year. But for me personally, I wouldn't. This is not long term. I would never make this long term. Not if you're trying to save for a house and he don't have no money. This is not long term. So I need y'all in the comments to see how Marla looking at him. You dirty, you're trying to spend my money. You can't even pay your half. And let me tell y'all, being provided for and taking care of his needs. Y'all agree. I post a lot of stuff in my community section. Go in my community section. Women will agree to this foolishness. And 3 months, I'm going to give you 3 months. You start complaining. You start, you need to do more. You know why? Because being taken care of, provided for by the man relaying next to is innate. And you think you can do it. You think you can take care of a man. But in about 3 months, you're gonna start complaining. And then your marriage is going to be about him not being the provider. I'm going to come back and talk about how Woman, you should not marry men who are unaccomplished. Who was it that commented in my community section, in my comment section yesterday? I said, marry the man in front of you. If Merla is going to stay with Gill, then stay with the $36,000 man. Don't project him making 100, because it's not going to happen. And then your fights and your marriage is going to be about him coming up here when he's not able to come up here. This is where he is. So you'll have to accept him where he is. This is why you don't marry nobody down here if you're up here. I got to go, girl. I love you. I love you. Oh, by the way, my made to be adored shirt, the link is below on my Teespring. I love you. Let me know what you think. How is Gill going to afford this apartment? How is he going to afford the luxury apartment? Let's say Married at First Sight is not paying their rent for 6 months. Because after 6 months, they might get a couple of $1,000s, but it might not be enough to pay these bills. How is he going to afford it? Merla is probably going to be paying 75%, and he just give whatever he can. You know, you'll have those men. He just gives what he can. What in the girl? But I got to go. Happy Friday. I love you. Remember to show me love. Monday's my birthday. I'm going to try to come live tonight. Freaky Friday. I know you guys have been asking for more dating content, so I'm going to try to bring that back for you. Let me know what you think. The Naked Wife is also available on Amazon. Moments of Gratitude, Thanksgiving season. So be sure to check that out. In Christ I Am. My daughter's, I wrote that for her, but it's for all of us because we need to know our identity in Christ. 10 Years of Girlfriend is also available. Be sure to pick that up. Moments of the Wisdom Journal is also available. I love you. I am working on my NaNoWriMo, Women in the Bible, plotting. I love you. See you later. Bye.